and welcome. I am your Saturday night. Welcome to your Saturday night. What are we doing? It's art night. It's art night. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna paint. I know I already kind of jumped in there and I was a little bit excited, but I like to be excited and I get excited about what I do. I enjoy what I do. I hope you enjoy what I do as well. Um, we're going to be doing a bit of painting, as I've said, and that's what we're getting into today. Uh, some painting, some art, all that kind of fun. The fun we have. But I'm not going to go ahead and waste too much time talking to you about it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to it. So I have just a canvas here. It's a canvas board. We are using this wonderful kind of just laid down so I can work and get everything done in front of you. I do have like easels and things like that, but this, to me, has been a really nice way to paint for all of you. For all of you. Because you're all awesome. Now, there are captions should you need or want them. Those are available and on there. I need to get a bunch of white here really quick and just kind of start getting this on. And this isn't really necessarily about, being neat or tidy. It's about getting some paint on my canvas right now. In fact, even though I have that right there, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab a thing of paint really quick. Because I just want to get a bunch of white on here. I'm just going to blurp. Blurp. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So let's have a little talkie time, right? Let's have a little talkie time. Let's chat. When I join you to do wonderful paintings, drawings, to chit-chat, to discuss my books, one of the big things about that is I want to share with you what I do. I want to share with you what I create. And to be really fair to everyone here right now, no matter what it is that I'm creating or enjoying at any given time, I often find that I can't express everything in the way I would like to. What do I mean by that? That's a great question. Thank you for asking. What I mean by that is sometimes I feel like I'm just going to throw some Liquitex ink right there. And a little bit right there. So we end up in these spaces where we spend a lot of time together, and in that time that we spend together, I generally share with you my passions and what really gets me going, really gets my mind moving. But I don't always get the chance to properly kind of dig into everything. Let's be fair. When it comes to being a creative individual, we're plagued by our own wants. We want to do things. We have these great urges and feelings, and we want to dive into projects, and sometimes we want to do a lot more than we're able to. And that's okay. I mean, it's not a bad thing. But it does have some downsides to it. I mean, generally speaking, a lot of what we do, there's give and take, there's up and down, there's a lot more going on than just, I'm going to make this day, that day. That's the wrong thing. I have a really nice thing of new palette knives, and I just had them, and now I don't know where they are. I don't know where I put them. So we're going to go ahead and just keep going. I'm not going to sit around and try to figure out where I stuck them. Nope. That's not what I'm going to do. So, grab this here. I'm going to start doing a little bit of sketching in here once I find where I want to go. So, as a creator, I'm constantly in kind of an internalized give and take. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do things which are new and different and triumphant. But that's not always what life gives us. Sometimes life just gives us a little moment. Just a little moment. A little moment to try to produce something magnificent. And I'm fully aware that oftentimes that's just where I'm working. I'm working in the moment. I'm working with what's available to me. Which means that not every project I conceive of or thing I want to do gets to be done. And because it doesn't all get to be done, there are definitely moments where I can feel pretty upset by that. Like, oh, I wanted to do this. Oh, I wanted to do that. But that's a bad space to put your own mind in. Like, that's not fair to ourselves, right? We can't put the weight of everything on every moment and then presume that, we're just going to be able to accomplish everything we want. We're not going to be able to. It is actually unreasonable to put that expectation on ourselves. Oh my goodness, I'm getting look at the size of my side of my hand. That's awesome. Oh, hey, thank you for joining us today. I do see you over there. Sorry, I don't always notice comments everywhere. We're doing a little bit of painting. Actually, just to kind of get into what I'm doing today, I'm trying to... Oh, I love that I'm just getting my hand all wet with paint. You know what? If you don't get your hand wet with paint sometimes, what are you even doing? So I'm kind of moving into a space which in general I just love to work in, which is, this kind of abstraction, but also kind of catching that energy of a dancer or something of that nature. But so that's kind of where I'm going. So I'm sketching that in to this wet paint. I'm getting my hand already covered in paint, but I'm using a lot of ink right now. And as you are well aware, sometimes when you have like ink and paint and you're trying to talk to people, like that is in itself a really difficult thing to do. Is actually to try to engage with people, to talk with people, and then also to um, get get all your ideas out and then like really make everything make sense. It's not easy, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm some sort of master. I'm not. I just enjoy doing it. If you don't have some paint on your glasses, what are you even doing? I have it on so many things. So many things that are in this space with me right now. But again, that's just part of our journey, right? So yeah, there's tons of things that when it comes to being a creative person that I've wanted to do over the years. I've wanted to make happen, but that's not always possible. It's not, and it's not that I can't do it. It's not that I don't have the skills. It's just I have to acknowledge that I need to focus my expectations and my desires for what I want to do. I need to focus that in the direction like what matters to me right now. What matters to me right now? What is the project at hand? Honestly, I'm kind of happy that I'm just getting paint all over because I'm creating this weird pattern on the side of the canvas right now. Oh, I love it. Oh. But really going back to like the abstract, the just all these different kinds of things that make me happy. So lately I've done a lot of back and forth as far as like what am I painting? Why am I painting it? And am I doing this for me? And actually, I think that last one is probably the most important. Like recently, oh yeah, without how everything is, we can get so absolutely caught up in just lots and lots of things that are increasingly less important. And of course, there's a lot of things that are really important in life, right? I mean, we all know that we can't do everything. We try sometimes more than we should. I mean, I know I try more than I should. But that's really the big thing for me right now is trying to tap back into doing things not because it seems like that's what I should be doing so much as that's what I want to be doing. So just getting back into this space of creating a painting or creating a piece of artwork because it really speaks to me and moves me. It's just getting more and more important. And I'm trying to remind myself that even though, art is a big part of my career, that doesn't mean that it should force me in any particular way. Like with my workshops, I get forced into certain directions, but it's less because I'm forced that way and more like this is the structure of my class and my work. And it's just there's a lot. There's so many things. I might ramble a bit sometimes, and I might get lost in my own a million ideas, but they're my million ideas. And that's one thing that is really hard sometimes, remembering that, like, it's okay to do the things you want to do. So, let's just hop back to kind of what my theming is here for a moment as I just work in this space. I was getting back to, I've done a lot of drawings that are like based in dance and movement, of which I absolutely love movement. I'm not the best at painting it, but I enjoy it. And so that's kind of what's going on here. We're getting into movement and energy and all these other things. I'm breaking my own rules here as well because I try to stay away from certain hard transitions like blacks and whatnot, but it's really important to be able to get those proper expressions for what you're doing. I'm not going to talk about the technique here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get back to what I really wanted to say, which is that I'm trying to make myself happy. I'm trying to make myself happy, and I'm trying to engage in the things that bring me joy. So I've done a lot more paintings recently that are specifically kind of going for that goal. Like, what here would make me happy about this piece of artwork? And what really pulls the energy in that I'm going for? And am I doing it for me? And if you haven't caught some of my recent live streams, that's fine. I understand. We all have a busy lives. But I've just been doing more of like, let's do something for myself. Let's do something that's just really enjoyable. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. And yeah, I'm good. I'm good for listening to someone ramble because I can get really rambly. But number one, that's exciting. So good luck on however that goes. Uh, I always wish my friends and my peers incredible success, especially
when it is well deserved, well earned. And and oh my goodness, I just have to say, like, my live streams, they sometimes are so well thought out ahead of time. And sometimes it's just like, you know what? We're doing this today. And that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And like, so why do I have to plan every last detail? That's not the way I live life. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes I plan way too much. Um, like this, like using my drawing board, because this is actually the board that I do like my drawings and sketches on. Doing a painting on this actually just started as, um, I don't want I don't want to have to paint up on my easel today because I'm tired, and that's how it ended up happening. That's how these kinds of streams started. I felt too tired to do that. But, that's life, right? So bleh, words. Words are good. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to do was just do something abstract that was fun for me. Um, Work with motion and energy in the kind of like, oh, how is this gonna sit? What direction is everything going? And that was kind of what my idea was for today. Nothing profound, nothing thematic. Thank you very much. Um, I'm gonna give this 2 seconds because it's all really wet. Actually, this was one of my recent ones. Let's see if I can get this on camera properly. So this was one of my recent paintings. I really liked how it ended up. Um, this was a different live stream. Like a lot of motion, a lot of life, and I'm just going for that type of thing. I know I had that up, and then immediately it was right down. Like I don't want to get everything all goopy. Oh. And, just a nice way to do that for me is, I get my brushes, I get my ideas, and then here we go, right? Here we go. Get some of that ink on here really quick. I have all of these wonderful acrylic inks that I used to do almost exclusively for painting, but I barely use them anymore, and that is a crime. So I've been trying to get them back into the mix. Just back into the mix. Get more of that feeling back. Get more of that sensation. Because there's a really fun textural and contour aspect to an ink. There, I don't know. Let me get a few more steps in here. So another thing that like I really want to get back into as far as some of this is really making things that make me excited again. It's terrible to say, but you know, the excitement can wear out. We can get all burnt out, and a number of other things can occur that just hinders and crushes that creativity. And that's what happens with me. I have so many different kinds of creative outlets between videos and film and stories that sometimes I just burn myself out. Sometimes I just leave my mind like I don't know what I'm doing. Which isn't to say that like I don't know what I'm doing all the time or anything like that, but I do feel like sometimes I'm not as focused as I can be. So have you ever silly question. Have you ever seen like those dancers that use like not blankets, but like those giant sheets? That's like part of this idea here. And right now it's all a bit of a mess, but I like it. I like it. That was really like my. I keep saying like, I need to stop that. That was a big part of my inspiration for this design and concept. Obviously, as I already said, you know, I was thinking about like dancers, and I really love uh, painting and illustrating the movement of the body in various ways. But there's something really cool to me about like people who do like ribbon dancing and things like that. And so that's basically where my mind was with this. Like, let's create kind of an abstract representation of one of these dancers with their power and skill and the almost the magic of it. It's like, how do you capture that kind of magic? How do you really get it to stand out? So it's just like, you know what? We're going to do it by getting as much movement and kind of pause and poise in here as we can. And a lot of color. Because I think that's also a really big, important part of certain types of art is really getting the color. It makes things more vibrant, more interesting. Not focusing necessarily, like, because sometimes I do a lot of detail in people, but let's not do that today, right? Why should I worry about the details of this person when instead I can capture the heart and the power and the skill and the determination?
Which I think I'm actually getting here. Really good. Oh, yes. Yes. That's... There's so many words that just will shoot right out of my mind while I'm doing something.
It's just here and then it's immediately gone. And then you either get reminded about it by someone or you remember it later, and regardless of which happens, you're like, oh, how could I not remember that when I was doing that? How? All right. But oh my goodness, yes. There's so many awesome and amazing and interesting skills in the world. And I definitely am the type of person to just be like, you know what, I wish I could do that, but even if I can't ever do it, I can love it and I can
Express the things I love about it.
I don't know how detailed I really want to get in this.
Honestly, I probably won't get like super detailed with anything.
It's not about the detail. It's about the presence, the passion, and the power. I don't care about the proportions exactly. whether or not everything ends up looking perfect. No. Actually, I think the biggest, most important thing right now in my mind is that it has that oomph. Whatever that oomph is. That oomph. That's what I want. I want oomph. I honestly can't believe that I've only been doing this for 36 minutes. Sometimes it can move really quick. Sometimes it feels like everything's standing still. So, we're just going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. Quiet down there for just a moment. Just to, hey, take 2 seconds to make sure that I'm doing my job as an artist. That's a weird concept. Do your job as an artist. I won't get into the random places my mind just went. I'm just going to let it be there. That was a thought I had, and we'll think about it harder later. Like, there's a lot going on here. A lot. I need to think where I am going next. I have to actually take a second. I've gotten far enough along where it's like, okay, where am I going and what am I going to do? I am incredibly grateful for everyone who joins me on these wonderful adventures. I'm also incredibly grateful just for the opportunity to do this, like to being able to actually create things from my mind. I feel incredibly grateful for, and like, oh my goodness, how did I get so lucky to actually be able to do this? How? I don't know. All right. I'm gonna get a little creative here. Just a few ink bubbles. My cat is at the door to the studio being like, let me in. She is adorable, naturally. So I'm just going to take a round brush, and I'm not actually going to do much with these other than make sure that the bubble pops. Because I just want those little blotches. I got a little extra on the tip of here. I like to have fun, Let's have some fun. 1,000% I had zero desire to, like, do anything too serious. I mean, I'm just too serious. That's a joke, obviously, because I'm not too serious. I'm just having fun. Just having fun. I'm just exploring whatever makes sense right now. And that's okay. See if I can't add a little more. Oh yeah, stuff like that can be fun. Like as a bit of experimentation, this is a good time. But that is actually a wonderful idea. This is all just wet on wet. Everything's wet. Everything is wet. But that is a wonderful idea. I love it. Definitely had a lot of mess today. Like a lot of mess. So this has actually been a lot of fun. Very unserious, very much let's play. So I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm actually just going to set this aside for a moment because this has been really interesting and experimental. I want to talk about some of my other work. After I can find... This just has to safely move over here. That'll be good. That'll work. That's good. So I'm just moving that off to the side for a moment, making sure my hands are mostly clean. So I'm going to grab a few things because I want to talk about some of my recent paintings. some of these things that are more experimental and less serious, like allowing myself to play a little bit more. So this was actually my last live stream. Pretty much all experiment, all play, and a lot more time taken to just try things out that normally I wouldn't do, which is getting to be like my big personal motivation. So this was a really fun one to do. Really interesting as far as, hey, how are we gonna do this today? And so there was this. Now this was done again with some of my acrylic inks, and then a lot of dabble and play, and a lot of wet on wet. So this was all very wet canvas, just moving through, like, let's add this color here and that color there. And I like doing things that take me outside of what I normally work with and maybe help expand. Because when it comes to my drawings are really strong, or at least, most of them, they're really strong. I have a very good solid foundation for which way I'm going, how I want to do it. So, like, doing something like this was great. I tried to apply some of my drawing techniques to painting, which I should have been doing to begin with, but we make mistakes, right? We make mistakes. And that was kind of like what brought this about. I'm going to just move this one really quick and then grab this. And then, of course, there was this painting. Another recent one where, again, it was let's play with things. And what I did for this piece is I actually ended up putting ink. So the entire underlayer was done with ink. And then I painted over top. So several different layers were done here, but different inks, reds and yellows and purples and blues, and then I just kept playing with this until I got here. It was a lot of fun, and it was trying to pull me out of like my comfort zone and get me more to where I'm painting like I draw, which is really hard. Oh my goodness, it's really hard to paint like you draw. But that's kind of what I was doing here, and I made this wonderful piece. Honestly, this is one of the pieces I'm most happy with recently that I've done. So I want to try to do more things like this, and I will, one way or another. Another really recent piece. Again, this is like practice, playing. How do I create a concept like one of my drawings and then put it to canvas. Now this one is messy in a million ways. It's a lot of ink. It's a lot of lines and shapes and nothing. And actually, I think that's one of the best parts about it, is that it's a lot of nothing. There's a lot of nothing here. It is unrefined. It is raw. It has no color consistency. And I like this. I love this piece. Once I got it finished, I'm like, you know what? That was excellent. That was a very good use of your time. So there's been a lot of playing lately and a lot of getting into these different aspects. But yes, this was fun. It was very unserious, but at the same time, it got a very particular look. This is not done. I'm going to come back to this one because, again, I really like it. and I just started painting this character a while back. I came up with an idea, like, what am I going to do? And this is where I am right now. I like her. She's fun. Well, she's actually a lot more than fun. You know what? Well, I let my other piece dry a bit. There's a couple spots I see on here. So my other painting can set just a little. Well, it does. Actually. I have some of the right colors I need for this right now, so. Just take 2 seconds to do a little work on another project that I really like. Well, the other one has a moment to dry. Again, I'm still really just having a lot of fun, but you know, it's fun with a really good purpose. You know, I came up with a name for this character, and right now, sitting with you, I cannot remember what it is. I am going to have to look up the name for my own character. Which, I mean, that's not unusual. Like, it's easy to forget things. But, you know, I should be able to remember her name. So I'm going to have to think about that a little bit. I feel disappointed in myself for forgetting what her name is. But just a piece that I really need to get back to at some point soon. So I guess, you know, right now is as good a time as any to do a little work on her. Just some spots to clean up. There's additional details I need to work on. Her ears are very asymmetrical, which is another thing I definitely want to take some time to work on in some way.
I know that, some of these paintings are going to take me a while before I get to where I want to be. But sometimes you just got to go ahead and try. It's definitely a big part of, I guess, my 2024 painting goals. Try more things. Try more things, work on more things, do more things. Some of those sentences were essentially the same sentence. That is okay. I might have come up with a name and everything for this character, but I really am going to have to reevaluate. Naming characters and then forgetting their names is unacceptable. Uh, you know, that's that's not right. You shouldn't do that. Well, I mean, people do it. Obviously, I did it. Um, I'm just saying though, not something great. Not something great to do. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Just keep it in mind. There's some weird coloration to this one side here. I'm adding some of that background light into this because when I come back through, I want to make sure certain things look really nice. And right now, this does not look really nice. Parts of her skin are really patchy. But this has been a whole lot of fun. I would like to say again, thank you very much. If you stopped in today, it really was awesome to have you. I hope that you stop in again for even more streams. And I am having a good time. Had a good time today. I need to do more work on a bunch of things. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call it a day. We've done essentially we did one just fun like sketchy piece. So I'm just going to get it out. So this was just experimenting and playing and making kind of a dance inspired abstraction.
You know, those blanket dances, the fire dancers. If that's the right term, fire dancer, then yes. But just something inspired by that concept, which was enjoyable to do. And we've done a little bit of work on this character whose painting needs to be finished. I've been on for about an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and wish you all an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for spending time with me. I will see you all again very soon. I probably will... In 2024, I am making it a point. I am going to try to stream more often. I'm going to try to join you more often for making art. I'm going to try to get with you for more fun, more excitement, and more of this. Alright, take care, be excellent. I will see you all again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and take care.